Okay, hello everybody. I am filling in for Karina today. She's just stepped away at a conference out of town. So she's just asked me to kind of manage this ETRO U that will be hosted by Jerome on the Bluebeam Studio Prime and Procore submittal workflow. So I think there will be also a game of some sort. So stay tuned. Audience participation, I presume. So with that being said, Jerome, take it away.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. First off, I do want to actually give a little shout out to Vin and his team. He's the one that actually brought this towards me, and it's been great because I think it's worked really well for him. So just shout out for him, and I will explain what it is that we're doing and why we're here. So the couple of objectives that we have for today is to first talk about what is Bluebeam Studio Prime. I won't take very much time to talk about that. What the integration is, how it's going to make your life better, and then we're going to go over some first-time use items, just initial setup, and go through some kind of tips and tricks. So Bluebeam Studio Prime is an add-on to Bluebeam Studio. The main thing that it does is it gives you access to the API, which allows us to do integrations. The most important piece I want to mention here is this is one of the integrations, but there's a whole bunch of other ones. There's other opportunities out there. So if you happen to love Bluebeam like I do, or if you're aware of something, let's take a look at it and see what we can do. One of the other benefits beyond this Procore integration is actually allowing us to have administration, like ETRO, to have administration over members and their collaborators, as well as Bluebeam Studio sessions that we generate. So there's benefits that are beyond this integration. So if you are doing a shop drawing in Procore, this is kind of the two main pathways. There's kind of a little variations off of this, but you're either doing it in parallel, where you have a number of different reviews that are occurring at the same time, or it's in series, or your architect forwards things to the consultant team, and sometimes you get a reviewed, coordinated set eventually. Or sometimes you may not get a reviewed package. And there are pros and cons to either method. What we are proposing and what we've been able to do is with this integration, we're able to have this nice little beautiful big blue box, which is showing this live collaborative interdisciplinary review occurring all at the same time. And that is leveraging Bluebeam Studio's capabilities in addition to Procore. So this, you're really going to get your biggest bang for your buck on sort of your more complicated design reviews, whether it's an elevator, for example. One of the nicest things we have about this is it allows us to be present within the shop drawing review. So instead of it being a quasi black box, you have to make a phone call to the architect to find out where things are going. You can actually see what's happening, being able to comment on things as they're occurring. And the whole concept is it allows us to get a better review faster. We're able to come out with reviewed as noted rather than having comments come back, because there's that opportunity as well for us to comment in line. Now I will pause, and Vin, are you available? Yes, you are.
Yes, sir.
Vin and the UBC BD Bio team have had the opportunity to trial this for the past few months. So how's your, oh, nice haircut. How's your experience been with the integration?
Definitely crucial to our shop drawing process. It helps a lot. We went from, just like you said, the elevator shop drawing originally. It took us 2 months to chase everybody, because consultant, let's say architect review, and then structural is supposed to take architect and respond to that and stamp, because they always have comments for each other, electrical to review to comment, and electrical, of course, just take the first PDF clean one and do their own review, and they don't talk to each other. So at the end, we got the final version, and there's so many comments to that M&E or architect or structural had to review. So we have to keep chasing them. So after we implement this, the second round of elevator shop drawing took only 2 weeks, 3 weeks, which is much better, much less painful for everybody. And also ETRO, whenever we receive shop drawing, we just launch it on Bluebeam Studio. We don't become the bottleneck of the whole process, because a lot of times we receive shop drawing, but we don't have time to review and stamp it. We send it to consultant, and a lot of the time we become the bottleneck. So just eliminate that, which is good. Yeah, it's been awesome. Sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Making this happen.
So you're probably thinking, sign me up, right? For everyone else. Don't all shout at once. It's okay.
I
Excellent.
was like, shut up and take my money.
So the way we are going to do this, so as I mentioned, there's it's a two-pronged thing. There's Bluebeam Studio Prime. So we need to get everyone onto Bluebeam Studio Prime. So you're going to receive an email from Marcelo. Marcelo, you can hit the button if you haven't already. He's nodding in agreement. So you're going to get an email just like this, and just follow the prompts. I'll walk you through it briefly here, and this is first time use, so we only have to do this one time. You can click become a member, and a separate window will pop up, and you can hit join now. And then you need to input your existing Bluebeam ID. So this is the ID that's associated with your ETRO account and your Bluebeam. It's called the BBID. Once you've done that, you're done, and you are now a Studio Prime member. So first step is complete. In the odd event that you do not have a Bluebeam ID set up already, you will get a second email asking you to confirm your Bluebeam ID, but I don't believe that'll be the case for anyone here. So now you're probably thinking, show me Procore, and I will. Okay. So we've taken some of the learnings from Vin and his team, and we've actually authored some updates to the ETRO way, so that'll all live in the new update to the submittal package. So you'll hear everything I'm saying, but know that it's written down as well. So the first step is you just go in to create a submittal, go through the typical steps that you would, attach it, attach the PDFs, and the tip here is hitting create rather than create and send emails. And the reason for that is once we go a couple steps further, Bluebeam is going to be issuing out emails themselves. So no reason to bombard your consultants with additional emails. So hit create rather than create and send emails. When you go do a first time, when you're doing this for the first time, sorry, you are going to get this option right over here in this little banner, and it's going to ask you to sign in to Bluebeam Studio Session. So what this is doing is linking your Procore account to your Bluebeam ID. Once you click that button, input the same information that you did earlier, and you're going to go to this screen, which it gives you the opportunity to enable the integration. So what it's allowing you to do is Bluebeam and Procore will be able to speak to each other. And that's it for the initial setup stuff. So what's going to happen whenever you're going to open a PDF, sorry, when you open up a submittal that has a PDF attached to it, you will see this button that says Add Studio Session. So in the event that you don't want to use this, you've got something that's really simple that doesn't necessitate using a studio session, you can just proceed as usual. In this instance, this example is using some elevator shop drawings. You hit Add Studio Session, and this screen will pop up. The tips here would be to use some identifiers for your project name, as well as the submittal itself. So it will automatically pull that session name from the submittal number, but just make sure that is project specific, because your Bluebeam session is going to have that, as well as the emails that go out will just have this session name. So this is the view that the consultant team is going to see. So they're going to get an email on that last step. They'll get an email that shows an invitation to Procore, and this is exactly the extent of what they'll get. And they will get an option to either join in on review standard version, which is the desktop version, which we use every day, as well as Bluebeam on the web. And I took this as a nice opportunity to really kind of test out the Bluebeam on the web, and it's not bad. It's not bad. I'd say it's serviceable for doing these simple kind of markups. And it's free as well too. So there's no impediments to using this. Most people should be using Review anyways, but in the event that they are not, Review Cloud is available as well. And similar thing from View from within our Reviews desktop version. Once again, it's all live, so you can mark up and see everything that's going on. You can use the notification features. You can tag other people. There's a lot of options within Bluebeam Studio. I'm not going to go through all that right now, but you can reply inline to comments. It's definitely an expedited way to review shop drawings. Again, so this is a view from the consultant's perspective. Everyone will be able to see the session ID number, and there's a hyperlink there, so you can click that to directly open up the Bluebeam Studio session in review. When it is time for someone, when they've completed their review, when a subconsultant has completed their review, they can hit respond, and we do not want them to attach any PDFs. The documents can just live straight within Bluebeam Studio. And they can set their review status. Again, the goal here is we're going for reviewed as noted. We don't really want reviewed as comments or things like that. There is some verbiage that we've actually provided that's going to be on the ETRO way, and that verbiage speaks to the whole, just to prepare the consultant team to be able to help manage this. So Vin helped out with some review and feedback on that section as well. So much appreciated. Yeah, just a recap, no added attachments, marking it reviewed as noted, and once they complete their review, they can do that. They can note that within Procore. So flipping over to the ETRO side, once all the reviews are complete, you can hit this finalize session button, which is a little different, and that'll give you the option to finalize the session in Bluebeam, and all of the items, all the PDFs that were created that have all the markups on them in the Bluebeam Studio session are then uploaded into the attachments, and they have Bluebeam kind of prepended to the verbiage. So then you can, as you would, you can continue the process from there to distribute those submittals, and you have them for record purposes. So there's no need to download it separately from Bluebeam. It's all right there. And that's it. Easy peasy. Any questions, comments? Marcelo.
Yes, just to let you know that I sent all emails already. So everybody should have in their mailbox the invitation for the Bluebeam Studio already.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh-oh. Lots of hands. I'll go with Lee first.
Allison, raise your hands first, so ladies first. Okay. Allison, please.
It says you're first in the queue, but I'll go first. I'm actually curious to hear, like, firsthand from Vin what it was like getting your consultants on board with this process. For us, for example, at Oak Ridge, the consultants have kind of their own system that they're using, and they do use a Bluebeam review session, but it's the prime consultant, the architect, that sets it up on there, and they do their Bluebeam Studio review, and then they send it back to us. So it kind of feels like at this point, we would be taking over their role essentially in inviting everybody to collaborate. So I guess one, how was it into like implementing this process with your consultants? And then two, can the consultant, i.e. the architect, add additional contributors to the Bluebeam session once it's open?
So you're definitely correct, and it depends. It really depends on the setup of the job and also the consultant's willingness to use this. On this job, UBC-BD, we were lucky that the prime architect was already well familiar with Bluebeam session. They love it. The moment I said is we are connecting it, they just say like thank you very much. On the previous job where I deal with consultant prime architect who was using Bluebeam session, but they never had it connected to Procore before, and they didn't have Bluebeam Prime license. It was a bit pulling teeth to first ask them to convince them to try it out, because now they have to buy the Prime license, Bluebeam Prime license themselves. But once they got the license, I showed them how it's set up. I actually showed them I gave them admin access to Procore submittals, and they manage it themselves. We send it out. They actually set up the whole session. They add people in, they close it out. And at the end, I think they did say it was working very well for them. A bit of a learning curve, but it worked out too.
I think,
Okay, thanks.
if I may
Oh, go
also, just to add to that, the way the integration works, it's making your architect's life a little bit easier because they're likely manually opening up those Bluebeam sessions or have one Bluebeam session, whereas this will do it for them.
And it's important to note that only the one who set it up that needs the Prime license that it needs to pay. The rest and everybody else can join for free, because I think it took them a long time to realize that all the other consultants realize that they don't have to buy Prime.
Right. Okay. So once it's open on Bluebeam and everyone's doing their reviews, how do you know that everyone's done? And then also, can the architect add additional people in to do their reviews? Because there's sometimes that like we'll copy and distribute it to whoever we think is correct, but there might be an additional consultant that needs to review the package as well.
So usually when we set it up, if there's additional consultant needed, usually whoever set up the Bluebeam session on Procore matters, because only that person can make change. Nobody else can, even within ETRO. So that person can add a new consultant on the session itself, and also go to Procore and add an additional workflow step, not step, but concurrent review. And then usually that's why on Procore, it's important to assign it to the right people. And then whoever has done the review would go to Procore, flip it to review as noted or revise and resubmit. Don't attach anything. That way we know where in the queue the shop drawing is. And then finally the architect can jump in and stamp final stamp. Okay. That's how we track it. Somebody else.
Okay, so the Procore workflow remains the same. Like the architect still needs to respond and say reviewed as noted or whatever it is in the Procore itself, like in the workflow.
Correct. That's how we track it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, two more quick. Actually, you go first, Lee. I'll go after if there's time.
Okay, thanks, Allison. I think this functionality in with Procore is fantastic. Jerome, you introduced to me a little bit on OCR, so it definitely has got some positives. In terms of tracking, does it all do the same tracking that we're familiar with Procore, where it's ball and court, or is it just go into a cloud where it says ball and court consultants and it's tracking who's made reviews, or how's that done?
That's fair. Vin, do you want to speak to this before I do?
Yeah, so just like I mentioned, just like how you normally set up a workflow in Procore for shop drawings, let's say you're assigned to 5 consultants, 5 names. And then it will do the same thing on Bluebeam. It will send the link to everybody. Once they've done it, make sure that they know to go back to Procore, flip it to reviews noted, or change the status. Don't attach anything. And then once everybody complete, then we know that it's ready for the architect to final stamp. And then we can finalize the session and distribute.
Gotcha.
So it's showable in court, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the other things that we can do within studio sessions is you can see the markup history, so you can quite easily see if someone has cracked open the spine on something or not.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. And then, Jerome, you had mentioned that there was going to be like a cheat sheet that was issued. So I'm assuming that our intent would, at the start of a job or startup,
Exactly.
we'd have our startup meeting with the consultant saying, hey, this is what we're using. This is how you use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got kind of like a draft email with some points on there that captures a lot of what Vin's been talking about.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
And sorry, just to jump in here, because I talked to Jerome before when I joined, the advantage of using this, especially when you have shop drawings that require a lot of revisions, is that it makes it easier for everyone to do it through Bluebeam, especially when you have to do a lot of markups. So the Procore itself, you're doing markups through Procore and not downloading it. It's very, very vague. You're not able to do a lot of markups through Procore. If you're not doing it through Procore and you're downloading and then re-downloading it, that makes it really hard for the coordinators to track the revisions. Because every time you're making sure that you're downloading the latest, well, this way we can do everything on Bluebeam, and then it's just a matter of keeping the latest copy on Procore too.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I
just
definitely
actually
see
oh, sorry, go ahead, Lee. Or
No, exactly what Siva said. It makes everything more streamlined for markups and whatnot, that you're having the latest, you have to download and upload and whatnot.
yeah, we actually had another success recently with the access panel and smart ceiling markup. Because that would first try from all the trade, they mark up their own, submit it, PDF it, submit it to us. We set up a session that would have taken at least 3, 4, 5 revisions before we can even finalize. So what happened is all the consultant mark it up, and then we actually schedule a meeting with all the trade with the consultant live on Bluebeam Studio. We make our own, have a chat. Hey, can we join this? Can we expand this? Can you delete this? They say yes, no, maybe. And then we make all the comments. And then everybody, consultant actually sometimes stamp, revise, resubmit. And then we make them change their mind to reviews noted. They change it on the spot and send it out. But that in one go. We got their approvals noted, which speeds things up. And you can also invite the trade to your Bluebeam session too, if you want to. And they can have their own markup, which help.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions or comments?
This is more like a general, what kind of tips from using Studio. If you're not familiar, is once you set it up, adding page is a bit painful. There's a bit of a trick, but you have to add a separate document into your session. So we learn that we have to play around with it, but I think we got to figure out. So if you have issues, feel free to reach out to Jerome and me. Also, you cannot change other people's markup, even with an ETRO. So you have to contact that person to change that markup or right on top of their markup. Things that change. And ensure you always connect to the internet when working on Studio session, because I think Ricky learned it the hard way. He was making a bunch of markup, and then I think his internet wasn't connected and it was all gone, overwritten. That's all I have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Allison.
Thank you both for going through everything. I just wanted to see if this is going live, if we could do potentially, I know Karina was asking for additional topics for ETRO use for the coming months. Could Vin walk us through a full submittal, from submission to closeout? Can we do a mock one and review with all the PM's PCs.
Yeah, more than happy to do one mock-up full time.
Okay.
Yeah, Allison, I can make a note. I can make a note to relay that to Karina as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be pretty quick, but it'd be good, I think, instead of everyone fumbling through it on their own, to walk through it together.
Sure. Okay.
It'd be interesting if a few of us play different roles.
Yeah.
Different roles just to try it out.
I've got a PDF. Well, I'll make a PDF of this presentation as well too, so you can see it if you want to look at it on your own. And we do also have some test emails if you want to see it from someone else's perspective.
Right, I'll be your general labor on the jobs.
That sounds perfect.
Cool. Okay, it's competition time. So we have an undisclosed gift, a TBD gift. It might be a fruit, it might be better than a fruit. I'm not going to tell you.
I have
yet. But the first people to take a screenshot of this screenshot, which is showing that you have successfully linked your Procore account to your Bluebeam Studio ID, will receive an undisclosed prize. Shannon's thinking about what it's going to be.
Yes, I will say I was not aware of said prize. However, I will be creative and I will come to you with a prize. Maybe I'll say it'll be some ETRO swag.
Oh.
Maybe. Or a gift card. Those are the things I know I have available. All extremely desirable that you guys will want. So please participate. Trust me, it will be desirable. Thank you.
Jerome, you sound like one of those guys at the mall, sales guys.
Get your Bluebeam. Get your Bluebeam. Cool. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jerome.
you.